So come this way into our set. This is your seat here. These are the questions. These questions have come from the public.
Okay, can I go first?
Totally.
Joy! What's... This is going to be awesome.
Have you watched You Can't Ask That? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do a bit of that.
Okay.
But what I thought I would do is I'll type a question into the chat. So I'm not asking, I'm going to type it. So you'll be able to read it and then we'll see your reaction.
Do I read it out
Answer the
loud?
question. Oh, no, you don't have to. You can actually if you want. Yeah, read it out loud.
Okay, cool.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome.
Aren't OTs the same as physios? They're not, and I just explained that they're not.
No, we're not the same as physio.
OTs aren't the same as physios, but they work really well together. So we're close in terms of the connection. I guess the main thing between OT and physio is that occupational therapists always work to help people achieve the things that they want and need to do.
So I guess physios work a lot, I guess. For me, physio is like, function, exercise-based rehabilitation, whereas OTs, I guess, we're more holistic. We do the environment, equipment, looking at what the person really wants to do and problem solving, like with equipment or home mods.
And that's always related to an activity, a task, or a role that they've got in their life that's important to them. Physios are amazing, but the kind of way that I've always seen it in my head is that physios kind of help someone go from point A to point B. So you might have an injury and they'll allow you to walk from point A to point B.
Of course we do some exercise stuff, functional education too, but I guess the way it was sort of described to me is physios are about, looking at, shoulders damage, you look at how you can fix it, sort of, how you can repair it and rehab it. And what you can't do, but let's fix it so you can do this again.
But with an occupational therapist, there's a destination. So it might not just be about walking, it might be walking out of the home so someone can go to the shops, or it might be walking your kids to school, or just being able to walk around your house and navigate that area. So it always has to do with the task.
Yeah, and whereas an OT will look at the shoulder, it's like, oh, okay, what is it stopping you from doing, and how can we get you to achieve that, even with, this particular issue, I suppose.
But obviously we couldn't do our wonderful jobs without our physios as well. So it's a good team.
Shout out to the physios. Woo!
Team, wing, get out of here. You've had your time.
No, you smashed it. Well done. All right, here's the next.
Don't you just write reports all day? It feels like it sometimes.
No, we don't just write reports for 10 hours. In fact, I wish we didn't have to write reports at all.
But I think the great thing about working as an OT or in aged care is that the benefit of our job comes from the time we spend with residents and not the things that we write up about them. Obviously, depending on what you do, you work in the NDIS, a lot of your job is report writing.
I feel like report writing is just one part of our job, and sometimes it consumes our job and really takes away from what we do, which is, get in there and help people achieve their outcomes and their goals through the interventions that we do.
But with the report writing comes purpose, which I think is really a good motivator. There's always a reason why we're writing what we do. But also, as you work and as you get better and as you understand the processes a bit more, you become faster. So it definitely doesn't become an all-day kind of thing. It gets cut down. Surely anyone can prescribe a wheelchair. Sure, babes. If you want, go ahead.
Sure, anyone can, but doesn't mean they probably should.
If you are super typical and your needs for a wheelchair aren't very high and you can get up and off your wheelchair very easily, I would love to say that anyone could prescribe one, but unfortunately a lot of people have high needs and there are a lot of different elements to take into consider when prescribing a wheelchair.
I've had some very interesting DIY prescriptions of wheelchairs that have just gone really wrong.
So hopefully one day it will almost feel like anyone can prescribe one, because we love accessibility. We love allowing consumers to take control of what they do. But if you work with an OT, we can guarantee that wheelchair is going to last you. You're going to be able to go anywhere without it.
It's important, I guess, for us to prescribe wheelchairs is because we know about the biomechanics of the body and what's going to suit someone best. And it takes a lot of trial and error to prescribe a wheelchair and a good seating system to best to support them.
You're not going to develop any injuries from being in that wheelchair, and you're going to be the most comfortable and happy and safe as you can be. So
Yeah, you could, but it might go really badly.
get your OTs involved when you can. Don't you just do hand therapy? Me specifically, no.
I have never done hand therapy in my life.
There are incredible occupational therapists that just focus on hands, and they're incredibly valuable to the profession and so smart. Oh my goodness, they know everything you possibly could know about your hands, which is a lot to know.
So no, we don't just do hand therapy. That's part of our job, and it's a very specific kind of stream of occupational therapy.
Very luckily for OTs, the profession is very broad and there's a million things that you can do. You can work with all age groups, you can work with all people and different types of disabilities.
But for the most part, there's not a whole lot of hand therapy that gets done, actually.
So it's not just hand therapy, it can also be rehab, it can be neuro, it can be specific with disabilities, it could be equipment. You pick, whichever is your favorite. We can kind of do it all.
Well, I would like to give you a hand because I think you've absolutely smashed that. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roshmi.
No worries, I hope it was good.